No. Hey, how's it going, Alexis? Getting ready to post this real quick. Every time I push live, it always pushes love. But if I ever type love, it always pushes. It tries to push live. What? It's such a hard one. The timing on it is so cool. The rhythm is so amazing. Your eyes black as night now. There's not a lot of garage sales today because it's 4th of July. But I'm gonna go out and check around because people pop them up, and it rained a bunch. It's been hot, so people probably kind of want to do some, but they didn't know what the weather's going to be like. Yes, we talks to angels. No. You going to garage sales today, Alexis? I've got so much stuff. I really don't need a garage sale. I should be listing stuff and taking it to my flea market booth and antique mall. I've been killing it in my antique mall and flea market booth. People are, I don't know. It might be something new people are doing. They don't want to go to the big stores. They want to go to the smaller ones where there's less people in them. I don't know, but I'm selling a lot. I haven't even put stuff in for a while. And then once the sports start up again for me, because that reticular activating system in our brain, whenever people see Patrick Mahomes, they can't help it. They start looking for Patrick Mahomes. So, you know, it's kind of crazy. Once baseball starts, all my baseball card stuff will fly off the shelf because I've got a bunch of Albert Pujols stuff, which he's only like 5 home runs away from Willie Mays, something like that. He's going to break all kinds of some records this coming season. So I have so many of his cards, so they'll just be flying off the shelf. I'm already selling a bunch of them, and we haven't even started yet. So because there's some people like me that already know that they're positioning themselves for whenever it starts. Filling my invoices a week late. Yeah, I understand that. Hey, Swamp Picker, how you doing? Doing any garage sales this morning? I was going to open this in a minute. I've been ordering some stuff on Mercari. Because there's some stuff that's kind of cheap there. I can actually Mercari to eBay if I want. But someone sent me this box. It's whatever I have in here. And I've been ordering hats. So I don't know what's in here. I haven't opened it yet. I just think it's hilarious. It's got the priority mail tracking there. And the note says, "Thank you for shopping Mercari and finding something you like in my listing. Help me. Help if you want any more help, Anthony. Just let me know. You don't want me to text you." I just thought it was funny. I mean, it got smashed. Yeah, there's not a lot of garage sales this morning. There's just about 7 or 8, but there'll be some pop-up ones. There always is. I'm gonna open this up, see what I got. Yeah, she smashed a hat in here. But it's a cool hat. That's the only problem about this being a stupid reseller is you have you end up having a better appreciation for stuff to buy. So then you end up wanting to keep stuff because you have a better appreciation for it. Anyway, I bet Cernock will think this hat's pretty cool. I was a big NASA guy when I was a kid. I wanted to be in the space shuttle. I wanted to go to space camp. I was that kid, but I got this in the mail. Scrambled eggs. Oh, this is so killer. If I remember right. Yeah, auto. So that's probably early 90s. That's killer. Oh, I got this for like 15 bucks or less. I can't remember. I've only been paying like 15 bucks. I think it's maybe a kid's hat, but it'll go with my space camp hat or a shuttle hat. Oh man, this is funny. Scrambled eggs. Hey Jennifer, thanks for joining for a minute. I was just jumping on the chit chat for a minute, play a little guitar. And I'm sitting there. Hey, Buying Space, how you doing? What's your first name, Buying Space? I see you in here all the time. I always forget. Hey, Sarcastic Storage. I don't know, just wanted to come on for a minute. Just kind of waiting around. It rained so much last night. We needed it so bad. So I can't really mow this morning anyway. It's supposed to rain the rest of the day. Fine by me. I get to I'll probably go to Goodwill today. Go to a couple of thrifts. I have 2 Goodwills in town. They're not the bins, but just to check around. Because that's one thing that's good about the Goodwills is when people start doing garage sales, the Goodwill start having more and more stuff that people aren't buying. So some good stuff kind of comes up. And the people that are running garage sales, they don't sell it, they bring it in. So it seems like it's just a surplus in the summer, at least here. Hey, Harry. I like your hiking stuff. I'm a big nature guy. I'm a big hiking guy. So I love seeing other people's scenery. I love it. So I enjoy those. I got my GoPro. It's awesome. My GoPro 8. This thing is so cool. And I got a headband even, so I can wear it. And it doesn't shake a lot. It's kind of crazy. And I can put it right here. And then I've got my strap. Where did I put it? Well, I've got the strap for the backpack too. So in case I want to wear a backpack, go to a garage sale. And I don't know if you guys do that where you record at garage sales, but I don't know if no one's ever been mad at me when I said it. I always say it like kind of like Commonwealth Picker or Cincinnati Picker. I just go, oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Hope you don't mind, and I'm like American Pickers. I just go around looking for treasures in garage sales, and it might make you a star. And they always kind of laugh. And every once in a while you get a couple of women that'll be like, please don't put it on me, because they haven't got themselves together. You know what I mean? So I understand that. I'm like, hey, I'll cut you out, or I won't even mess with it, because I don't want that. But anyway, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, because and that's why I found this community was watching Cincinnati Picker go to garage sales, watching Lonnie go to garage sales. That was fun. I think one of the first ones I saw Lonnie was doing the garage flips. He was doing that like the I-70 garage sale where it's like 100 miles or something like that, and that was fun because it's garage sales everywhere. And Hillbilly Go Pro, yeah. Some of I've even used. I bought my nephew a $60 one. They're just fine. It's just that these things are. If I want to be serious, that's what I've learned about things. If I want to be serious about YouTube, I might as well just be serious. And also, being a reseller, I know one thing, that if I want to get rid of that GoPro, I can sell it. If I have like a rinky-dink one, I'm never going to sell it. So I at least can get some of my money back when I go to get the 9 when it comes out or whatever. Storage units, right on. Yeah, that's my next thing. I've just got so many garage sales and stuff. Like, I just don't need inventory so much. And but I think eventually I'd like to do that. I think it'd be fun, just for the hunt of it. You never know what you might get in a garage. I don't want to toss. Around here, cost of living is a little cheaper. So if people have a storage unit, they might really have a bunch of crap in there that they don't even really need, because it's not that expensive to have a storage unit. So it's a little different than other places in big cities and stuff. So I don't know. I think it'd be fun to try. I'm going to try it anyway. But there's actually a storage unit place not too far from here. I'm just going to go ahead and talk to the people and say, hey, but I just worry that people are going to, why wouldn't a storage unit place go in there and just take whatever's good? And I mean, it's just like garage sales. Some people don't know what's good though, but most people don't know what's good actually. But I don't know. It just kind of worries me. At least at a garage sale, I can kind of pick and choose, and I don't take any crap home with me. Nice webcam. Yeah, I heard those are almost impossible to get right now. Logitech is like doubled in price almost, because everybody's wanting to do Zoom, and kids are at home and they just needed them. So I think it's something that actually everybody should invest in, because next year's probably going to be off and on in some states at least. So strap one of those camcorders to your shoulder. Yeah. 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 I'm excited. This next year's gonna be fun on YouTube. I've gotten pretty comfortable with everything, and I've gotten better, and I've got things that other people in our community don't have. So I know I bring a lot. It was kind of nice being on Nate and Anthony's channel the other day. Every day I'm hustling, and they were talking to me about how they were basically, thanking me for getting them back into the cards. Because most of the resellers, they only hear the story of, oh, cards are dead because they're talking about the 1980s. I'm like, yeah, that's been 30 years ago. It's a lot of things have changed since, and so everybody just discounted it. And so now at least I got people thinking about it. It's like, hey, I was on Storage Auction Pirates channel the other day. He runs auctions. Some of those big channels, I watch their auctions, but people are bidding way too much for some of that stuff, which is good for them. But the other day I was on there, I got on there a little early, and he had a bunch of old baseball cards, and one was a Hank Aaron, and it was actually bent, like someone had bent it put it in their wallet, So it's not worth a ton, but it's still a Hank Aaron card, and I'm a baseball freak. you just don't. You're not going to find those. And it was back when he was the Milwaukee Braves, a long time ago. And there were some other cards in there that was pretty good too. So I got $55. There's a Luis Aparicio. I forget how you say that name, but he was a really good player, and that card was in there too. So I know I could sell that card for probably the $55 anyway. Upstate New York, yeah, I can see that. I remember I had a friend that lived in Buffalo, New York, for years, and he always explained it how it was really weird because the taxes were so high in Buffalo, New York, and he said it's basically because you're paying for the no taxes in New York City, and he was saying how it was crazy. He was explaining. Cora, no, what are you doing? Just a second, I gotta get my puppy's eating something here. What are you doing, babe? What is that? Oh, you're sorry, she was eating some packing paper, making sure it wasn't something very important. Cora's eating a few of my. It's okay, babe. You can eat it. You're okay. She's eating a couple of things that yeah, but it's my fault for having it out. She's just a puppy. But yeah, she was talking about how expensive the taxes were. So in a weird way, that makes sense that if you live in upstate New York or something, the taxes are really high. You're probably trying to get rid of stuff all the time, trying to get some money back. And since, yeah, I don't know. Plus, it's old. It's old area where you're probably getting all kinds of cool antiques. It's like Harry talks about that where we have a lot of antique places out here in Missouri, but we're like 100 years behind you guys on living here. You know what I mean? So like you guarantee you guys have more antiques out there, better antiques because it has to be in a weird way. But we do have a lot of antique malls and probably some of the most on that. I think that St. Joe, Kansas City area. It's about 4 hours from me, but that area has like some of them. I think the most antique malls like per area. I'm not sure, something like that. Duct tape and a flat camera. Yeah, yeah. As my grandpa would say, poor people have poor ways. But we said it with pride because we just found ways around things. That's what happens when you grow up on a farm. That's why we won World War II. We had a bunch of farmers fighting. Uh, they didn't just whine and go home. They try to figure out how to get out of that and get home. They had something to look forward to. And whenever the tank broke down, we could fix it because we had to fix our own machinery. When the Germans' tanks fixed, they just left it. They didn't know what to do with it. So we would turn it around, fix it for them, and use it on them. So we won because we were a bunch of farmers who kicked ass. Where are you from, Anthony? I was born in North Missouri, close to a town called Marceline, which is Walt Disney's boyhood home. I went to high school there, and I live now in Springfield, Missouri, which is about 4 hours south of there. I'm about 40 minutes north of Branson. This area is just gorgeous. I've been all over the world, all over the United States. It's hard to beat Southern Missouri and Northern Arkansas. And if you haven't been, it's so cheap to come here. I almost don't want people to know about it. When California, Oregon, some of those places figure out how cheap it is to live here, and plus we just passed medical marijuana here, so it won't be. I've been saying it for a long time. If you want to own real estate, you probably should come to South Missouri and buy up as much as you can because it's just going to get expensive. Hey, thanks, Harry. Appreciate you for coming in, and later. I love this channel. But yeah, Springfield's it's awesome. Cost of living is so cheap. I mow, so I mow for. You wouldn't believe how many people I mow for that live by themselves in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. and they're living on Social Security, or I don't know how people are doing it, but they do. And you couldn't do that other places. It's like, it's funny. Like when I went to the East Coast, being a lawn guy, you can't help it. I look at lawns. You go to the East Coast, and my uncle lives out in Maryland, and there's no yards. If you do have a house, it's a very small yard, and land's too expensive. But here, I guess land's cheap enough. You can have a third of an acre and pay me to mow it and live by yourself. I don't know how people do it. Don't forget the bear spray. I got if I have it. The other day I bought a mace, the gel mace stuff, and because I've been attacked, me and my dog's been attacked by other dogs like 4 times now. So I carry a knife on me, and I don't want to hurt no dog. But if he comes and lays into my leg, so I bought some mace, and hopefully, I just know one thing. A crazy dog, mace is only gonna like slow it down. It's still gonna go crazy. You know what I mean? It's not gonna understand what's going on, so it's just gonna go. Hopefully, it's good enough. It knocks it down. Is my soil there clay? Good question, Buying Space. What's your first name? I missed it again. I'm sorry. It's not clay. It's mostly rock. It's terrible. The soil here is really bad. In Springfield, if you get outside of Springfield, it's okay, but Springfield's actually on a plateau, so it's kind of weird. Most people don't even know it to live here. So a lot of the, it's like basically the top of an ancient seabed where it's just terrible soil. And when I first moved here, I'm from North Missouri. North Missouri, it's black soil. I mean, you throw down seed and it just starts growing. Here, I'm like, I remember I went to dig my first garden here, and I dug a little bit. I'm like, ooh, that's a lot of rock. I'm gonna go over there. And I did it like 4 times. I'm like, oh, it's all rock. Where I was from, you couldn't even find rocks like that. It's just weird. And so we had to bring in a bunch of dirt, bring it down here, work the soil pretty good, and eventually it starts going. But then also here, there's a lot of different birds, and the birds here eat up your garden. So you had to put nets over everything. I had to best thing, to keep a birds and rabbits and deer out of your garden. And everybody always has all these sophisticated things. The only thing that ever worked was 2 pie pans, 2 aluminum pie pans, and put a string on them, connect them together, and then let them swing in the wind. And they'll hit each other, make a noise, and they'll shiny, and they'll move around. They hate that. And so that was the best thing, and it was the cheapest and it was the easiest. So that's, if anybody has a garden, that's a little tip. That's a good question. Do I have luck selling magic cards? Myra, thanks. I know that. I should know that. That's the only problem is, seeing someone's name. You always forget the YouTube channel name. You never. Anyway, any luck selling magic cards? That's a good question. I haven't tried to sell a lot, but it's getting ready to happen. I bought a couple like things at Walmart. There was like kind of a starter deck stuff, and I was just kind of going through them to see what I got. I can't remember. I spent like $20 or something, and I had a bunch of them left, so I just lotted them up, put it in my booth, and said, magic cards, base, commons, whatever. I think I put them $14 a piece. Sold them both pretty quick for $30, and then I kept some of the better ones, and so they will sell. And it's funny is how many times I'm fixing my booth and I'm in there, and people walk by and see my cards, and like men my age go, "Do you have any magic cards?" So people ask me quite a bit. So ironically, I bought this lot just not too long ago, and just came in yesterday, and it's from Storage Legend Auctions. And so I've got a bunch of new cards that I'll be selling, and I got these for $55, and there's some good ones in there. And but I sell a lot of Pokemon. a lot of Pokemon. I got this many for Pokemon, and some more here. So I got all these for $90, and these are nice. These aren't just commons. Like these are some good ones. And this was just in which why I bought them too is I might grade some of these because they're kept in such good shape, and these are all holograms. And what you find is you grade them because a lot of people, once they get to where they enjoy their Pokemon, they want to go out and get a graded version of their set, and so they're trying to complete sets. And so some of the things I've learned, and since it's a game, it's usable, so people actually don't just want them and collect them, they actually need them for their set. So that's why I am gonna enjoy playing with these. I mean, there's some good ones in here, and if you don't know anything about it, there's an app. I forget the name of the app, but you can just take a picture of it. It'll tell you exactly how much it's worth, because the cool thing about Pokemon, it's almost like it's got a market and everybody follows the same guideline. So there's no, it's easier to understand. I guess that makes any sense. But yeah, magic cards sell. So if you're getting them in storage units, give me a shout. I'll send you some cash and send them to me. If you don't know anything about them, you want to get rid of them, or you probably need to hold some auctions yourself. And I'm getting my auction license this week, and I just need to ask them about sales tax. See, everybody does these auctions, and I don't hear anybody talking about sales tax, but I want to make sure I get all that clear, because I want to collect that sales tax and not have to like go back and have to pay $1,000 in sales tax that I didn't collect. So we'll see. I'll see how that works. I'll talk to him, but it's only $50 for a year for a license for auction here in Missouri, in Greene County. So I'm going to do that and start running some auctions, and because people are going to want a lot of stuff I have. I've got some pretty killer stuff. I got like 100 PlayStation 2 and Xbox games last week in garage sales for like $0.25 a piece, and those are all just different garage sales. So I think a lot of us can. And here's one. Resellers that understand this one. This was at Goodwill, and it was 18 Xbox 360 games and Xbox games, and it was $20. And so it was almost what I wanted, but since they're all loose, I was like, I don't want to pay that much if they're all loose. And I glanced through them and I realized, they're not that great. A lot of sports games and stuff. And I came back a couple weeks later, and what they do is at our Goodwill, they have a glass cage and they put their best stuff in there, and it got kind of buried underneath, and people probably stopped looking at it. And I noticed it was blue. Blue was 75% off one day. And so I went in there, I'm like, I go, is that they got the blue tag? And he's like, yeah. He goes, you were looking at that last week? I'm like, yeah. I go, I'll take it now. It was $5 for all these video games. And actually, I would have bought this before, but I didn't see it. I mean, it's not a lot. Like there's Soccer Live, NBA Hoops Live, Madden 2013. I wonder how this one will be. Major League Baseball 2K7, because it's got Derek Jeter on there. That might go for a little money. I'm not sure. But where is it? Medal of Honor, of course, goes well. And Quake. I think Quake will be something that sells, because I remember Joe Rogan talking about how addicted he was to Quake. We'll see. But where is it? FIFA, Soccer, Modern Warfare, another soccer, Halo, another soccer, but NCAA 2012. So if anybody knows, NCAA 2014 is worth like $150 with if you have the case too. But 13, 14, all the way down to 10 is still worth some pretty good money. And so, shoot, I bet that goes for $20 by itself, loose. At least 15. So I'll make my money back on that. Really easy to test, and easy to list, easy to store. And a lot of these things, I'll sell my antique, my flea market booth. I before the Rona, I was selling Wii games in my my flea market booth for $3.95 to $10.95, and they were selling stuff that would not sell on eBay. People on eBay are selling it for $2.50 free shipping. I'm like, you're losing money. So it was hard to compete on eBay. So even that Wii Fit game, I didn't think it would ever sell. And whenever the shutdown happened, well, that's when the Wii Fit was actually worth a lot of money. And I'm like, I just want to get back there and get it. And it sold the first day I was open. The flea market's back to open. It sold for $3.95. I'm like, crap. I was trying to get there to get it, and it was too late. But I think that's what's great about our community is, since we're all resellers, most of us have a niche. Most of us are usually selling 2 or 3 things. But this community helps us to understand while we're out doing it, we're already shipping out stuff. We're already on eBay. We're already picking up stuff. Might as well know what actually could make more money for you. And it all comes back to sell-through rate. I mean, why is Mahomes so good for me? It sells fast. I've got George Brett cards that are worth great money. They don't sell because he's not doing anything right now. The Hall of Famers people want to buy, but it sits there. So find that stuff that has sell-through rate. That's the key. Get your money back. Get your capital back. Where do you comp your cards? For Pokemon or baseball or football? I just know my market by buying. The more you buy, the more you realize. I just check sold, you just type in the exact thing, type sold, and then go back and look through it. And I usually see the thing with cards on eBay, something everybody should know. Most people, most card guys grew up on eBay. So if anybody knows about eBay was almost all auctions 10 years ago. It was and they wanted to be auctions. Well, a lot of those guys still do that because they like to hunt and they like to do it. They just don't change. I put everything buy it now because I'm not trying to sell it this week. All those guys are trying to sell it this week. So they'll, those auctions, most of the time, unless you have something really awesome, you're gonna get 75%. And if you have something really awesome, it's gonna sell. You know what I mean? And you might get more money for it. So I just, auctions are dumb. So be careful too when you look at sold, because you may get, you can probably put it up for more money. So I put buy it now, and I'll lower the price if I want to, and I don't let offers come in. I'll send out offers, and they might return an offer that's really low or whatever. But and that's what I do. And I it's just one of those things too. You know your market. You know what I mean? And then that's the best thing about this community too, is like you start realizing that you don't have to comp certain things. That's when it becomes easy. You go to a garage sale, and you just know. You don't have to sit there and look at your phone and wonder. And I mean, there was a lot of things when I first started buying. I'm like, yeah, they sold, but it might take 6 months to sell. And so some of those YouTube guys were giving me some bad advice, or giving everybody some bad advice. It was true that it sold, but that stuff just doesn't sell very often. What did you buy, Alexis? I can maybe help you out with them. I mean, because if it's stuff that's not worth much money, you don't want to sell it for $2 to $5 on eBay, unless it's something that sells fast. Then you lot them up, put them in teams, and because that's what a lot of people are buying, their own teams. So if you put up, Kansas City Royals team lot, show most of the pictures, and then say there's another 100 commons, people buy them and put like gift, because the mom will come on there and see like, oh, that'd be good to get my boy a Royals collection, So just trying to think outside the box. Think about how you would do it, how you would buy it if you were doing it. You know what I mean? Well, I just, I don't know. I have my own businesses with everything else. Why not do it right? And then there's a reason why. Honestly, I think it's kind of cool that I'm bringing in income to Missouri. I don't care what anybody says. I think it's kind of cool. Um, I'm creating money and helping out our people. I mean, it is what it is, and that's another thing too people don't realize. And they talk about Amazon doesn't pay taxes. Mm-hmm. You know how much taxes they create though? So, I mean, you can say they don't pay taxes, federal taxes, but there's a lot of things they're doing. How many jobs they're providing? I mean, you can say Amazon's bad or Walmart's bad, but they're providing a lot of jobs. And a lot of times they're actually paying better than a lot of people. They just think they're not paying that much. But do sports games for the game system sell well? No. But the thing to do though, if you have Tiger Woods 07, 08, 09, just blot them all together, and then you can get some money out of them. But yeah, if you try to sell them individually, you're just not getting much. It's kind of like some of those guys when they do postcards and there's one postcard. Well, people coming on there are probably getting a few because they're probably craft people. They're not looking for one. They just found that one. You know what I mean? So they're wanting a lot. So in a weird way, don't mess with the five unless you're doing that volume pricing too, which I haven't had anybody use that yet. But World of Warcraft, ooh, that might be worth some money. Actually, I was. It's a good thing you said that. I have a few that I got in just some random garage sale, and I threw them in there for next to nothing. And I was going to look those up to see if they're worth any money. Since I haven't heard anything about them worth any money, I'm guessing they're not worth a lot, but they're worth something to someone, guaranteed. So no matter what, you can lot that up. I mean, look like if you've watched Lonnie recently, he got a huge thing of the Star Wars game, and it's like it's not really that popular, but when you lot a bunch of them together, there's some people that are playing it that do want them, so they will sell. It's just you may not get much money for them, but I still look at it as like, yeah, you have a ton of those cards. Just get your money back too. You don't have to make money on it. Sometimes you can just get your money back so you can make more money with that money. So Commonwealth Picker made me really realize that like it's a sell through rate. He has to sell stuff. I can't imagine. Can you imagine Kevin in a in like a city where he could go source easy? He would be killing it. But he's having to go to garage sales and picking up parts to vacuums, and I mean he sells a lot of like Liberty stuff just because it's the only thing he has to really get, and it's just um I can't imagine if he's out in California or something. Oh man, he would be killing it. He's probably my favorite Kevin Commonwealth picker. I think it's because he does so much with so little, and he's all doing it all for his family. And I just love teachers, and I'm a baseball freak. So he's a baseball coach, and he was a really good baseball player. Um, he hasn't talked about it much, but him and Steve pick and roll, awesome baseball players. Pick and roll, Steve. He was getting up to like almost. I think was he in almost a double A. He was good. He was really good. Um, Coca-Cola collector's cards. I don't know much about them. Are they just like playing cards that are Coca-Cola? Um, I guess I've never seen any. Hey Joe, how's it going, Philly? I saw you won. What did you win the other night? You won an auction. Was it a MacBook Pro? Was that last night? $45 or something? I bet that's a good one. I bet you can get that 100 out of that. I'm not sure though. I don't know the market, but anything Apple is freaking awesome. Twistina, stay away from my garage sales. You hear me? How's it going? She lives in my town, so yeah. Let me look again, see if there's any more pop-up garage sales. I don't think there is, but yard sale treasure map. I love this thing. Yeah, I understand. It is 4th of July. I love this hat. Look at this. I got this just the other day. If anybody knows about the vintage hats, DeKalb is a big maker, is a big but it's usually not these hats. These are the ones that usually get the most money. They love that yellow green look and the flying corn, which I love this one, K Products. But the reason I like this one is I thought it's cool for 4th of July. How cool is that? K Products, which if you know anything about hats, I can't see it that light, but K Products or K Brand. K Brand's the best one. That was the original, but then they got bought out and it's called K Products. But it says it right there, made in Iowa City, Iowa. So made in USA. I got this for like 15 bucks on Mercari. I've been buying a lot of stuff from Mercari, and what I've realized why Mercari is good. It's easier to buy. It's all set up so much. It's just you're buying the pictures. On eBay, you're having to scroll through like they have to change some stuff. It's still an awesome platform, but they have to change some stuff, and I don't know why they're not. I think it's kind of like what Tommy and some of those guys said. They've built so many patch systems on top of patch systems. They almost can't. They almost have to shut it down completely and start all over in a way. And I don't know if they can do that, but I mean, Mercari's set up to more like to buy like it's Facebook or something. Like it's just easier. You're buying the pictures, and then you go look at, like on eBay. You're seeing pictures and you're seeing all that crap around it, words and stuff that most of the time, especially like most of us are knowing we're going to buy. We don't have to see the words and see so much description. So I just think they need to, and so I'm gonna start selling more. I'm gonna start selling on Mercari just because it's easier to buy. So I bet it's easier to sell some things. So I've tried before. I've listed some stuff on. I've listed the same price on eBay to Mercari with Patrick Mahomes just to see if I could get more money on Mercari or the same. And it always sells on eBay. So I just since I was selling so much of that, I just haven't. But I'm gonna start cross posting and trying. I've heard that toys do good over there too, so I'm gonna try to do some toys. It's just easier to buy. So, if they sold worldwide, they'd probably wipe out eBay. I like how Mercari tells you that your package is delivered. I like a lot of things. I'm sure there's some things that I'm missing, that there's some bad things in there, I'm sure, but so far I'm liking it. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good deal. What show was that on? What's that? Oh, was that as Grimes Finds, wasn't it? Free stuff. Yeah, I was just telling my friend the other day about all the free stuff I've actually sold for good money. Uh, one day I was at a garage sale. It was a moving sale. It was someone I knew, and she had this whole table full of Japanese teapots, and they were awesome with little tea sets and everything. There's like 10 of them. I'm like, ooh, I'm like, so how much for this one? She goes, and the lady behind me goes, I bought that one already. I'm like, oh, okay. So how about that one? And she did it again. I'm like, well, which ones did you not buy? She goes, I bought them all. I'm like, oh, crap. So I'm letting her, I get out of the way and they're talking together. And I look over the side and she had a shelf that said free. And there was a donut phone on there. It was from like the 50s or 60s. I'm like, free? So I grabbed it and I'm like, I had to buy something else. So I bought like this big cookie jar that's a Santa Claus uh, for like $5. And I haven't sold it yet, but I bet it'll sell this year. And I think I put like $30. I actually put it for 20. And that donut phone, I asked her, I go, she goes, yeah, I've had it for like 30 years. I'm like, okay. And so I put it in my antique booth and it sold for $39.95. So free to $39.95 is not bad. And one time I work for a real estate agent. I've got like 20 something yards with just him. And he does, so he'll buy a house and he'll clean it out and gut it out. And one time I was mowing the yard and they had a bunch of stuff in the back and there was a Magnavox TV back there. It was a 1979. It's probably one of those first color small TVs for your room as a kid, kind of deal. And it had the rabbit ears and everything. And there was no rust, and it looked like someone kept it in good shape for all these years. I was like, how much for that? And he goes, take it. I'm like, sweet. I sold that for I think it was $39.95 too. I think I sold that for $40. And that sold pretty quick. And it worked. And so the other day there was a box of free stuff, and I didn't find anything at this garage sale. And I was walking out, and there was a Alvin and the Chipmunks, two characters, stuffed animals. And I was a big Chipmunks fan. Me and my sister loved it when we were kids, the Chipmunks Christmas album. And I looked at the tag, it said 1983, and they didn't smell. It wasn't a smoking house or nothing. They were in great shape. I go, this is free? She's like, yep. I'm like, okay. So I know those will sell, or I might just keep them. Yeah, the only thing about those MacBook Pros, they're heavy. You're talking 15, 20 bucks shipping. So I might just I don't know. I might put it on eBay and just put it up for parts only, no returns, pay the shipping. I did that with some PlayStation stuff and some Wii stuff that didn't work. I just said parts only. Maybe you can get it to work, no returns. Yeah, phone. Yeah. And it's funny, what's funny too is I had power wash for this woman before. And the reason I went by there is just because I had power wash before, and I'd been out garage selling all day, and I was heading home. I was like, I'll swing by there because I'm in the area. And she was having the moving sale. And she had contacted me like 2 or 3 weeks earlier about doing a power washing job. I was like, yeah, sure. And I told her, like, I think it was $250 to do. She wanted me to do like the sidewalks and the whole house and stuff. And she's like, it's just too much. So it worked out better than I ended up getting $40 free instead of having to do any of the work. So, because, power washing, I love it. It's so rewarding when you get done. But it is hard work. I mean, I got pretty strong forearms because that's what I do. I like to work out and I like to play guitar and weed eating all the time. But an hour and a half of power washing, my forearms are gonna be sore for 2 or 3 days. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna start listing like a crazy man. I'm really just thinking about fourth quarter. I'm thinking about Christmas right now. Just like building my stores, building my antique ball. I've actually put in my flea market booth at Mike's for another booth because I don't have any more room. I have so much Dale Earnhardt Sr. stuff now.
An error has occurred.
Okay. I have so much Earnhardt Sr. stuff from a moving sale that I bought his collection. So I almost have a whole booth of just Earnhardt Sr. stuff. So I might even go to my antique mall and ask for another booth because I'm getting to where I sold $80 yesterday on just some cards. I'm getting to where I'm expecting to get $500 every month out of my booths, and I'm building. I bet it's getting close to by Christmas. I'll be selling $1,000 a month in my booths, and most of the time I'm putting in $100 to $200 of money into that. So I'm getting a lot of money back for what I put into it, and the fees. It's funny too. Like people talk about, well, the fees to to be in a booth. Well, 70 to $90 really isn't that much when you think about. I have like 1,000 things listed in the store in the booth. When you think about that, and you think about how many things you have there that you're storing that you'd have to put in a storage unit or in your house. Okay, and like me in my flea market booth, I go to Dollar Tree, buy up some dollar stuff. Best thing about Dollar Tree is no tags, no symbol for Dollar Tree. No, so it's like you just got it, you took all the tags off. So it's so easy. Just go buy a dollar puzzle, go to my flea market booth, put it up for $3.95, $4.95, and you sell enough of those, it pays for your rent and it brings people in. And I sold those puzzles like Toy Story and Frozen, they go so quick for me. I can't really keep up with them. So just got to find ways around it. And then I get them in there to sell my big stuff, like the $120 or how much, 110 I got for a Coleman lantern that I spent $6 at Goodwill for. That's the ones you want to make. That's where you make the money. And the other stuff is just, it's kind of when I was a bartender and I worked in a restaurant for 17 years. I worked at Cheddar's, and our Cheddar's was one of the first Cheddar's built. And you learn real quick, they don't make any money on the food. They want you to buy a drink. That's it. They're making a ton of money on iced tea. I remember we figured it up one time. It cost more money to make the iced tea than it did for the product to buy the product. And it was like 6 cents for this. I think it was 5 gallons of tea. And you're thinking, 6 cents, and you're thinking how much money you're making off that tea. It's crazy. When we sold it for like $2.89 was a tea, and no one's gonna drink more than 3 glasses of tea. So they'd made so much money on stuff that people never even question why. They just always buy their tea or Coke or Mountain Dew or whatever. And they brought you back in because the $7.99 chicken tender platter was huge and cheap. And you weren't thinking about the $3 iced tea. No one ever did. It was funny. But I realized that's a business model you have to do. You have to have some stuff that you don't really making much money. You're bringing them in, but you also bringing them in to buy the stuff that they didn't realize how cheap I got it. And so it's what works for me. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that everybody was doing that. I went to Dollar Tree and found that I couldn't find any. People came in there and just bought them all up and were selling them online. But I also saw that it tanked. Then no one was buying them online because everybody had the same idea. And that's why I don't do retail arbitrage, because most of the time when they're having a sale all around the nation, every one of those Walmarts is having a sale too. And so Ross and TJ Maxx and all that stuff. And that was one of the first things I thought of. I go to Ross, and before I started doing this, I go to Ross and buy cheap shoes. I'm like, it's so crazy. You think people would just almost resell these because they're so cheap compared to the store. And turns out they did. But even then, I don't know if anybody else sells shoes on eBay, but it takes forever. You're talking about long tail. I mean, you got to find the right person with the right price, right size. And it's so hard to find the right size. So you get all these people that actually like it, and then it's not their size. So So I'm not a fan of clothes. I'm not a fan of that stuff. The shoes will sell because they're usable and people buy them because they run out and they want to buy their own shoes that they used to have that were just like them maybe. I've bought some shoes. I got these Hokas. For like $34, I think it was, free shipping, and they are awesome. They are awesome. And I run all the time, so I thought I'd just try something different. I always buy Asics. I've bought some Nikes. I thought I'd try, everybody talked about Hokas, and now I know why. Holy crap. It's like walking on pillows. If anybody's looking for a walking shoe, go on, look for used shoes on eBay. Hoka. Oh my. These, I got them cheaper because I have to look. I may have got them cheaper. I think I may have got them for $30, free shipping, because like these were trail shoes, and so someone had worn them like that, got new ones, and they just were going to sell them. They didn't clean them, nothing. Sorry, they're dirty, and so they had them cheaper. Well, you know me, I don't care. I'll clean them. And so I bought them, and they're awesome. They're the best walking shoes I've ever had. I run in them. I'm sure if I could find some better Hokas that are a little bit lighter, be perfect, but they're a little bit too heavy for me for running more than 4 miles. But they're still good. They're still better than most shoes. But so I mean, they do sell because I bought, but it's just so long tail, and that's why now when even now though I kind of spoiled myself when I go to garage sales. I only buy stuff that I know is going to sell fairly quick, even if it goes for better money. I don't want to invest in stuff. I'd rather just flip. You know what I mean? Big difference. It's kind of I always hear these people talk about retirement and talking about, having your stock good for when you retire. F that. I'm never retiring. Who retires? I don't understand retirement unless you hate your job. If you hate your job, I feel sorry for you. But there's no retirement for me. I'm going to stop playing music. I'm going to stop finding treasure. No, and who knows what's on my horizon. Retirement. It's sad that people are, no, never, not for me. So I'm not going to buy stock for retirement. I buy stock because I think it's fun. I don't buy it to think of like, get to a place where I could sit on my ass and watch Netflix and eat ice cream all day. Like, you want to die fast? Well, there you go. You wait till you're 65 to be stupid? It doesn't make any sense. I've never found a pair of Hokas either. I get mad at those people in Florida. Harry Tornado found like 4 Hokas the other day. They didn't have the insoles, but I'm like, I would have bought them, put insoles in them. I don't understand. Like, the insoles are so cheap. Hokas are freaking expensive, and they sell fast. I would buy them all day. Buy a new insole. I mean, or whatever. So only older Jordans. Yeah, that's because it's collectible. Those will sell because it's not really, they're not wearable at that point. And if you're wearing them, you're dumb. Or if you do, you wear it very small or very lightly or rarely. If I was a nurse or something, I'd be wearing Hokas all the time. That's for dang sure. If I was back at Cheddar's, I'd try to find some all black ones, or I'd probably paint them all black just to be able to wear them. It's just the most comfortable shoes I've ever had. And I'm, like my grandpa used to always say, you got to have good shoes and got to have a good bed. If you don't have those 2 things, all the other stuff's going to be awful. And it's true. If you don't know, if you don't get your sleep, and if you don't have something that helps you when you work, good luck. You're going to be constantly playing from behind the 8 ball. I used to love the old Jordans. All my friends had them, and I could never afford them. Not all my friends, a few friends. So it was you always kind of wanted, and that's what I've realized about a lot of people, why they're buying He-Man, and why He-Man is so expensive to buy on eBay. Because they're buying the stuff they didn't get when they were kids, and they want it. They get it, and doesn't make them any happier, but they're kind of like buying feelings. That's why I like selling collectibles, because you're selling feelings. You're selling emotions. Like I got that. Well, something like this. Duck call. Antique. Nothing special, but I guarantee you there's a guy out there that all they can think about, they see this as grandpa giving them their first one. They don't have any more and they want it back because thinking about grandpa. They're not thinking about this. You know what I mean? So that's why. That's one thing I do good at. Like, I tell a good story. And if you don't tell a good story about the item, you're not creating the emotion in a weird way. So, that's one thing I like about the antique mall and flea market booth, my booths. I can list stuff and I can explain it, because you got to explain it right. You got to, otherwise they just see it, and I'm good at seeing things and understanding, but some people aren't. So you really got to explain things. Yeah, and exactly. And you can sell them without the insoles and they'll buy their own insoles. If you see Hokas for $5 to $10, you buy them. They're like, I don't even know what they are retail, but I'm guessing $150 probably normally. But you're not retiring. You're still doing things. Where I'm from, people want to retire and sit on their ass and do nothing. That's waiting for death. I'm not waiting for death. I don't know. I'm just not like anybody else. I almost died when I was a kid, so I don't think like anybody else, I guess. It was a gift, I guess, that I got given. I don't know. I actually believe I'm dying every Sunday. When you believe you're dying every Sunday, you get stuff done. I try to get all my loose ends done. And I tell you what, Monday's pretty glorious, because either way, I'll be somewhere else that's might be with people that I miss, or I'll be right here doing what I love to do in the first place. Either way, win-win. $215 years plus. 200. Are you talking about Jordans? If you're talking about Jordans, holy crap. That's a lot of money. Well, I guess I probably gotta get out. I'll leave you with a couple songs. You guys just keep talking if you want. outside your door, waiting for you. Is this love made just for two? Gotta love some Tesla. Little love song. Yeah, I got I don't even remember where I got it now. It was so cheap, but it was like a vintage razor, a woman's razor from like back in the 60s, 70s, and it still had the box and all that stuff. But it wasn't new, but it was still so cool. And I know someone out there would get them. There's a reason why we're all still here. I could have died so many times. I think all of us don't realize. It's like every time you hurt your ankle and you get so mad, you hurt your ankle. What did that keep you from doing? It slowed you down. It may have kept you from dying, but you never see it like that. You always just think about how, oh, my ankle. You know what I mean? So we're all lucky to be here. I'm sorry. And if you don't feel like you're lucky to be here, you're not grateful. If you're not grateful, you're probably living in the past. You're not living in the present and the future. And you're probably a pain in the ass for anybody that knows you, because you're running through this terrible matrix that you've created that is whiny. If you're not grateful, you're whiny. And you're, why didn't I deserve more of it. That voice needs to get out of there. And that's the best thing about exercise is that voice doesn't happen. You're kicking your own ass all the time. You don't have time to worry about what someone did to you 7 years ago. Who cares? They did you a favor. You know what I mean? I love this song. Paint your eyes as black as night God, I love that song. What a genius guitar riff. And that's in a weird tuning. It's open C. No one plays open C. I mean, there's a few, but very few. It's such a beautiful song. A little bit of Led Zeppelin mixed with a little bit of Rolling Stones. It's just funny is when you study these different songs, you can tell who they like by their copying. Most of the people are copying somewhat, like that. Okay, Tesla, that love song. It actually has a very similar part to Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven, and so you can tell that Tesla love song. It sounds different. Of course, you can't tell, but when you play it, you know that they're using a lot of the same ideas, the same blueprint as Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven. Another one, Blackbird. I remember I was watching How to Play. What's his name? Peter Frampton. Baby, ooh, baby, I love your way. I thought that was a cool song. So I was researching it, and I looked it up on how to play it. And he was showing how to play it, Peter Frampton. And he was showing, and he goes, I think I was, because when he started playing, I'm like, that chorus is the chords to, that's the walk down from Stairway to Heaven. That's part of Stairway to Heaven. It's the exact same chords, and no one uses those chords. No one. And he used it in the same order even. I'm like, and in the middle of him showing, he goes, I think I was listening to Blackbird a lot at the time. And he smiled, and so I knew it before he even said it. I thought it was funny. And but that's what you realize, it's all music it's mute. You can't copy music. Music is music. And it's still about the rhythm. It's still about the timing. There's so many other things that go into it. Your sound of your guitar. So, you can say you're copying, but you're also just, all music's kind of copying in a weird way, all borrowed. It's all borrowed from, Greece. All this music comes from the Greek islands. A lot of the modes and all that stuff is named after islands that are in Greece. If anybody didn't know that, so yeah, that's why I love Dave Matthews. I've never seen anybody play any of the chords that Dave Matthews plays. It's so weird. That's what makes him so unique. There's another reason why you don't see Dave cover bands. It's almost impossible. That's like I've heard some of the people on here talk about playing Dave Matthews, and I'm not that good at it. But it's funny because I'm like, yeah. Do you know of anybody that plays Dave Matthews? It's because it's that hard. And I think it's funny because I just know I'm going to get better. I keep getting better. And so at some point, they're not going to be able to tell the difference between me and Dave Matthews. But also, too, it's like Dave Matthews, it's his song, and he's been playing it over and over for years. Of course he plays it better, especially if you ever have to. It's one thing I've learned. If I try to make something good and try to make it sound perfect, and you do a couple of replays through it, you realize you after just pressing real hard for about 20 minutes, it's like learning. It's you've sped up the learning process. And so now why, like, anytime those musicians go to this studio to record, they must come out way better musicians, because you kind of have to. It's like going to work. It's not just fun. And so, yeah, anyway, I love music. I just, there's some things in this world, if you took it away, it is what it is. If you took away music from this world, I don't know. It wouldn't be that much fun. I'm sorry, but music. Here's something. When I run and stuff, I try not to listen to music, because it's almost it's unfair advantage. It's fuel. But when I run with competition, I use fuel. I don't think people realize how powerful music is. It can put you in a place. And here's something, and everybody should know how powerful music is. If you've ever been in love with someone and it doesn't work out, and you still have some feelings for them, if you have a song that you guys both listen to, you get thrown right back into all that. That tells you how powerful music is to us, and how it holds our memories, just like smell. I think when I was studying the brain, the sensory things for smell is so close to the memories. That's why it's so tied in, almost better than anything. Smells with memories, um, the memories that are right. When you study the brain too, you realize that this is something that I find fascinating. Only 60% at best of our memories are correct. You can't remember the present's too much to remember, so you fill in the blanks. And so if you base your life on memories of things, and you're basing it on lies most of the time, we don't remember it that well. The ones we really do remember are very traumatic. Those will be more impressioned in, because we go through our head over and over again. But most of the time, like, it's like anything. You talk about, like, your graduation with your to your buddy. He starts telling you stuff, and you realize that you've filled the blanks in, and some of that stuff wasn't true. It's what you assumed was going to be, but that's not what happened when you talk to someone else. So personally, everybody's done it. And so if you live in the past, you're living in the false untruths. So I think that's one of my keys is I live right now. I live right now to help my future. Um, I used to live in the past. That's no fun. Music is very important. And if it's not, you need to get on it. Every day there's some things I do every morning, but one of them is when I walk out my door, I have a dance list on YouTube. I listen to it every time because I'm priming myself to be the best attitude I can walking out that door. I don't want to put my crappy attitude on anybody. It's already hard enough. So I try to come out of my door and I'm beaming by when I 8 in the morning. All I can do is make my attitude better. I can't do anything about anybody else. All I can do is me. And I think people want to know what the problem of the world is. No one wants to do better as themselves. They want to blame the world, blame other people, the other side, or for why they're not happy. We make ourselves happy. It's not the world. It's just crazy. You know, maybe one day people will start figuring out that, you know, it's when you give back. It's when you live in service is when you're actually happy. Because if you're living in service, are you wanting? So you're taking away a lot of that sin for people don't realize they're always trying to get stuff all the time. They don't think that, but they are. And being a former hoarder, I understand that now. Being a seller, I don't hoard nothing. There's nothing. Why? It's kind of like when you study like people that are like super rich, or people that you would consider successful. They don't have a bunch of crap in their house. Their houses are big, but they're almost empty because they don't have possessions, because they're too busy doing now and thinking about the future. I mean, if they have possessions, it's like a nice car or a boat, something to really experience life with, not to look at and hold for 20 years because they think it's worth money. Only poor people like us do that. So I'm glad that's the best thing about me, about doing the reselling community, is I've turned my hoarding ways into something different. And I think about honestly is not like selling things, as repurposing to people that want it more than I do. Some people need this stuff. Some people need those emotions and feelings to reconnect themselves with grandpa. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I enjoy philosophy. My favorite thing is to learn. And you know, no one wants to learn. They think they're supposed to learn only when they're kids, and that's it. and then do one job, do it the same thing forever, get really good at it. I mean, my dad still says that every once in a while. Just get really good at one thing. I'm like, Dad, I'm really good at a lot of things, and I'm gonna keep doing new things and get really good at those too. You know, I'm not gonna let anybody tell me what I want to learn. Learning will never stop for me. I have to bridle myself back on what I want to start new. I'm trying to decide right now between jujitsu, doing a fine art painting class because I love to paint and I'd like to get some good instruction from a really good teacher. Jujitsu is I want to be able to teach that to women and make them understand that they don't have to be scared of men. If they know jujitsu, they're not going to be that scared of a man, not near as much. And having that confidence is going to be go over in so many other ways. I'm trying to figure if I want to. I've been thinking about piano or violin. I might just ask my mandolin teacher if we can start doing music theory and try to. I'm gonna start writing my own music, something. But I know one thing: if you're not trying to discover new things and pushing yourself, you're going backwards. I'm not going backwards, and I don't care what age I am. I don't care. That's the world talking that kind of bull crap, you know. Um, it's like you go to Africa and you try to translate, you try to talk to them about retirement. You know what they say? Why? Do you not like your job? They don't understand that. Oh, you hurt? You can't do it? Oh, you just choose not to. That doesn't make sense to them. It's like vacation. Vacation. Do you not like your home? Do you not have loved ones there? Why do you want to leave where you've made your home? But see, most people just haven't made a home, honestly. But I still love vacation. I understand why you do it. But for some people, it doesn't make sense because they love their home so much. Why leave it? They built such a good thing. I think that we need to get a little better at building a nice home. And home doesn't mean a house. You know, like I live in an apartment. I don't understand why I would need, if I'm a single man, why would I need a home except for to spend a lot more money? I mean, people are like, oh yeah, you're not putting your money into anything. Yeah, you're gonna spend 35 years putting money into that thing. Are you kidding me? I work for people who have houses. You you're not gonna figure in all the taxes. You're not gonna figure in all the maintenance that you have to do that I don't have to do. You know, it's like no. Now, if you have a bunch of kids, you have four people living in the house. Yeah, I see a house. But if you're a single person, it's the dumbest thing ever. My grandpa was 72 when he retired. By the time he was 75, he had diabetes. He was skinny, 72 skinny, great shape. Oh, he worked his butt off all his life. He was 12 hours on the job at the factory, come home and do farming. Um, when he finally retired, he had that idea, you retire. And he ate. Um, well, he always ate good, but the problem is then he had more time to eat, you know, and then got diabetes quick. Diabetes turned into prostate cancer. And then, you know, the combination of drugs, and this is what I've learned. I study stuff, you know, diabetic um, medicine mixed with painkillers with men, dementia is a very likely thing to happen. And so he got dementia. You know, within 4 years of retirement, he was a shell of what he was. But I don't blame him. I mean, I understand too, but I don't want to put my mind into the thought of like going from, I'm always in fifth gear. I'm not going to go to first gear and just chill. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't, if you don't know what makes you happy, no one else is going to know to make you happy anyway. You know what I mean? Like most people, I have a buddy, you know, um, I have a few buddies, and you have someone that has like a wife if you couldn't even tell, they couldn't even tell you what makes them happy because what really makes them happy is to be mad, but they don't want to admit that to themselves. So many people live in anxiety. It's something I like to study. Anxiety, that people, people don't realize they're doing emotions. You choose your emotions. You're not doing it because you are, oh, I'm so super sensitive. No, you like to be sensitive. It's not like because you have to. Uh, I don't know. We just got to watch what we are, what emotions we throw on everybody else. It's kind of like the nice guy. You know why? You know why women don't like the nice guy? It's pretty simple. Guys don't like the nice guy either because he's lying. He's nice until he doesn't get his way, and then you'll see the a-hole that he is. Now, that's why they like the a-hole, because they're at least truthful. This is who I am. At least you know what you're getting. And that's why a woman at least knows what she's getting. The nice guy, he's probably talking crap about you behind your back. The nice guy wants you to think he's nice. So every person has a different version of what nice is. So that means that nice guy is changing to who he's talking to. So he's never the same person. And so, nice, sure. We got to watch those words we use that we think are, something else I like to study. Language was created to be able to lie. Think about it. Why do we need to talk? Most of the things that we think we need to talk, it would be like, I need something that you have. You couldn't point to it, show them what you have to change for it. Do you really need to talk about it? Talking is a great way to convince people of things that they may not believe in the first place. So be careful of the guy that talks to you all the time about how great he is and nice and what he's doing and this and that. I try not to be that way. I try to talk to people about like this, and I'm not trying to convince people of who I am. I just hope people can understand like a few things that I like to do. But I mean, I worked in a restaurant for years, and I think that's why I am who I am too. Unfortunately, I was a preacher's son. And unfortunately, what you find when you were working at a restaurant is on Sundays, it's the worst day of the week. They were the worst people to deal with. Now, side note, most of the best Christian people aren't going to go to Cheddar's to eat after church every time. So it doesn't represent all churches and all religion, but it was the worst day to work. And unfortunately, that's something I don't drink, but something I've learned real quick was the people that were drinking were easy to deal with, easy to satisfy. They knew what made them happy. You could give it to them, and you did. The straight sober person doesn't even know what makes them happy, and you're supposed to make them happy. They would freak out about things. I'm like, all I've had to do is bring you food, take your drink order. Like, what did I, they would make a big deal about the weirdest things. And I'm like, and so, it was tough. It was tough. And so you realize real quickly, people that think they're nice, tell everybody they're nice, isn't always true. The people that say it the most, it makes you think they aren't. They're trying to convince you, trying to convince themselves as well. So, it's another thing that the one thing I miss the most about Cheddar's, and this is funny, but it's because I worked there so long. I would always tell my customers or tell my employees, if you get a really bad customer, give them to me. I will take them every time. I loved it because what you find is if someone calls an asshole, those people, what they are is they're emotional bullies. They're not assholes. So an emotional bully, what they're doing is they only associate with people they can push around. So whenever they meet someone they can't push around, it's a little frustrating for them. And so what I found is that's me. I'm right there. And they would come in and bring their crap and treat some 18-year-old girl server so terribly and think they had some reason to do it. And they would come to me, and it was the funniest thing. Because what an emotional bully wants you to do, they're trying to get you to mirror their personality. They want you to be mad. They want you to be sad. What was I? Your mood's not affecting me. And it made them crazy. It made them crazy because they're used to bullying everybody. And they usually only hang around people they can bully. And so whenever they met me, it was funny how many times they would complain to me. They would complain on me at Cheddar's. And my manager would ask, like, well, did you get everything you needed? Yeah. Was he nice? Well, yeah. He just seemed busy. He's the head bartender. It's Cheddar's at noon on a Saturday. It's busy. He's got to go. But you got everything you needed. And he was nice. Yeah. So what are we complaining about? They were complaining because they didn't want me to be nice. And they didn't know how to say that to a manager. It made him mad. It was the funniest thing because, and you try this next time, someone's mad at you and they want you to be mad back, or they want you to go, oh, I'm sorry. When you smile, it'll make their head spin. It'll make steam come out their head because you make them realize your mood's not going to affect me and I'm happy and you're not. It was actually a fun game. Well, I mean, there's nice guys. I'm just saying a lot of times when they're trying to prove it to you, it makes you realize they're trying to prove it to themselves too, you know? I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to be an a-hole or anything like that. I just didn't think that people understand. People use words and they try to blanket them with everything, you know. And there's a lot of nice women too that want you to make them think they're real nice, because you know I dated most of them. Believe me. Say one thing, do the opposite. So you can say all you want, but when your actions are not nice, you're not the nice person that you are acting like you are. So it's, you know, one way or the other, you're going to get caught. And if you believe in God, he sees you. You know, it's something I always think about too. You know, being a preacher's son, people always talked about like sinning and doing things, and I don't do those. I always think about this. You think God doesn't know what you would do? Just because you don't do it doesn't mean he doesn't know what you would do. How many people are sinning in their own head all the time by the way they think? You think he doesn't see that? So, you know, it is what it is. You know, I think we're all sinning a lot if you want to break it down that way. So to judge other people on you're sinning less or more than me, it's fascinating. It's fascinating to me. It is what it is. It's like most people don't realize that the Jews and the Muslims all read the first 5 books of the Bible too. What about that? You know, Muslims celebrate Abraham. You know, but most people don't know. They tell you, that's no way, you know, because they don't want to believe that either. Most religions are pretty close to each other. They just want to think they're different, you know. Oh, but I mean, yeah, that's a whole other. I don't know why I'm talking about that. I don't usually talk about this stuff, but I just people just need to be positive and be. But really, the thing is, like I was saying, everybody's trying to be the nice guy, but they're not nice to themselves. You got to be nice to themselves, and when I mean nice, I mean like push, beat yourself up. That's really being nice, is what I mean. I run real hard. I'm constantly trying to learn new things. Do I have time to think about the past? Or if someone wronged me? I'm not getting enough from my. It's like being your own boss. After a while, I wouldn't apologize to every boss I knew after I became my own boss. You think your boss should worry about you? You know what I mean? It's amazing. Like, you think they're not getting worse than you from above them? Really? You know, everybody always thinks they would do it better. If I'd do it better. Sure. Yeah. Until you get in that situation. It's like I was a bartender for 12 years, server from 18 altogether, Applebee's too. And people in my family would always be like, oh, why don't you be a manager? Because, where I'm from, everybody, you're supposed to get that job and stay there forever, get a house, and get a wife and have kids and retire at 70 and go to church every week, and that's fine for them, but that wasn't my style. Like I said, I'm still like, okay, where I'm from too, it's like, if you're learning something, you have to make money from it. I learn because I want to learn. I don't care about the money. Well, it's so funny how people won't do things unless they get paid for it. You're not living in service. And if you're not living in service, you're going to be fighting a lot of things. Um, when I was a kid, I remember thinking, if I did anything with religion, I would be a missionary, because every time I met missionaries, they were the nicest people I've ever met. Genuinely nice. They literally were smiling all the time. I remember thinking, even being a kid, like 10 years old, they're just beaming. Their smiles are so big. They're not talking to be nice. They're just genuinely nice. And it took me years to figure out why. They gave everything away. There's no more want. They gave it all away. They gave their time away too. They're so happy just to be in service. And it's just, they shine. And so, I don't know. I think we all should be finding our ways to be of service. And I think that's the whole purpose of this whole life, is to recognize what you're good at and to give it back for free. And if someone wants to give you money for it eventually, that's what happens. It's like Tony Hawk. You studied Tony Hawk's story. He loved skateboarding. He wasn't getting paid anything. There was a while he got paid some money, and then the bottom dropped out. No one watched it anymore. And he just kept going, because that's what he loved to do. He didn't care if he got paid or not, but eventually you get paid because you make yourself undeniable. I mean, look at how many people are start on YouTube and stop really quick. We didn't give it any time. You didn't become undeniable. You got to practice. And where I'm from, people don't want to practice. You got to be good at something and get paid for it. You can't practice, because then if you're practicing, you're not perfect at it yet. Yeah, I know. People don't want to have any sort of failure. They see it as failure as all bad. I see failure as a way to eventually get better at. I don't. Everybody just has. It's you can be in heaven or you can be in hell. It's all right here. It's all right there. We've all, if anybody's ever been in love, you've been in heaven. You didn't want to be anywhere else. You wanted to be right there with that person, no one else in the world. The world didn't even matter. That person is the only thing that mattered. That's a little heaven. It changes your mindset. But we've all going to be in hell too. Usually a lot of times it's our own decisions that put us there. So, we just need to prime ourselves. We got to know what makes ourselves happy and go for it, instead of staying at our crappy job forever and thinking, my boss should pay me more money. Go make more money. Quit the job. Don't blame your boss or the owner for it. It's fascinating. I know I came from a poor place, and you heard that saying, money is the root of all evil. What? The only people that say that are the people that do use it for evil. So when you say it to me, I just look at you like, yeah, you would. Here's a good one. Being a preacher's son. I heard What the Hales the other day, Jeremy talking, and I'm not going to, it is what it is, and everybody's got their own integrity and this and that. And he was talking about how, which I really like their channel, and he was talking about he's I think he ran a church camp. I can't remember what it was. He's very involved with church, and he was talking about how he would buy you storage units, and in every storage unit there's usually porn or some sexual devices. And he said, it just goes right to the trash. And he goes, if I had $100,000 Playboy, it's going in the trash. And I'm just the opposite of that. I think about it as, I'm going to turn that guy's sin into service. That $100,000 is going to be a food pantry. I'm going to turn your sin into a benefit for thousands. Do you think that guy's not going to sin anyway? You think he's not going to buy another Playboy? You're going to keep him from, you're promoting sin? And come on, you know what I mean? Turn that around. It's all about our mindset, and that's one of those points where I think but someone's trying to be nice right there. They want you to go, oh, well, he's such a nice guy. Are you sure? Couldn't you turn that 100,000 into way more of a benefit than one guy that does it one time? You can get it for free on the internet now. You're not keeping someone from sinning with porn. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about how we want to think of things, and that's how I think of things. I'll turn your sin into a benefit for hundreds of kids. How about that? You know? So that's how I like to think. Well, I'll get off here. I don't know. I spent 40 minutes talking about things I don't usually talk about. So, well, thanks for everybody listening. Skin the win. Send the win. You just came at the end. I like this hat, Kent. I got this DeKalb. It's K products. But it's not the super old ones. But I like the $15 Mercari. Hells yeah. Skin the win. I mean, everybody wants to position themselves to be who they are, and like want everybody to know, oh, he's the guy that, he's that guy, and it's everybody's trying to project that person who they are. I don't care. Yeah, hats are selling. Awesome. I got this one the other day. Old school John Deere patch. It's not K products, but it's got the tags, and it's a John Deere licensed product. I got this for $15. Snagged it on Mercari. It's the Louisville one, though. You remember Louisville? I think that was 90s when the Louisville ones were, but that was made in USA. Oh, that was a cool one. But I guarantee you, I put that on here. You'll like this one too. The old Cernock scrambled eggs. $15. I couldn't help it. I had to get it. I freaking love NASA and the space shuttle. I'm a freaking dork. I'm a science dork from way back. And this hat, the reason it's flat, she packed it in a Fruity Pebbles box. Yeah. I don't even know what to say about that. I love them scrambled eggs. Yeah. I don't even know what to say on the shipping on that one. And here, you'll like this. It's got the postal tracking thing taped on here. Nice. I should do a YouTube video of just. I actually do these videos, and I never put them out, where I'm critiquing the way people send me cards from eBay. Some of them are so ridiculous. I've had $300 cards just put in a bubble mailer and put in a hard sleeve like this. And it wasn't even taped at the top. It wasn't even in another sleeve. It was just put in here in a normal little bubble mailer. I'm like, it's a $300 card. It's an autograph. I'm like, what are you doing? I think I should do that. Just do a video of the terrible ways people send stuff on eBay and Mercari. But I was telling them earlier, I love freaking Mercari. It's just easier to buy on there. It's easier to see the dang listings. Most people know what they're looking for, so they don't need the description. They'll look at the description after they see the thing. And you see it, you see the price, you click on it, and then you know. And, with eBay, you're scrolling through, you're seeing all the crap all around it. the picture's kind of small compared to the whole screen. I don't know. I just think that no wonder people are selling on Mercari more now. I'm going to start selling as much as I can. I'm going to cross post everything because it just seems easier to buy. And I bet kids, it's more like Facebook. It's more like Instagram or something. Like it's just easier. eBay needs to revamp. They need to shut that down for a month and bring back a freaking Amazon type thing. You know, they got a good product that they sell worldwide and stuff, but no one does the auctions hardly anymore. I buy them because people are stupid enough to put things on auction. You only get 75% out of auctions most of the time, unless it's something that's really good. And if it's really good, put it as buy it now. You probably get more money than that even, you know, because if it's really good, it's rare. And whoever else is selling it, it's going to become more rare because that stuff's out of the way. You know what I mean? I do that with baseball all the time. Yeah. You know, Tommy has really got me. You know, I do the antique mall booth and the flea market booth, so I don't really. I kind of cross posting there in a weird way, but I'm not cross posting. But I have I have enough stuff going on, so I don't need to sell on different platforms. But I mean, when you start noticing that hats you'll get 50%, you'll get 35% more for hats on Grailed and Depop. You got to, you know what I mean, and at least try, and especially so list perfectly. It's only $30. I'm thinking I'm going to try it because I'm building for Christmas. All I'm thinking about is building my stores for Christmas. I've even got more booths. I've put myself in for a waiting list for more booths in my malls because I'm selling so much crap. It's crazy. Like yesterday, I sold. I think I got it for $1 at Goodwill. A bunch of fingernail polish, one of those cure things, you know. Put it in my booth for $10 sells. I've been selling hats in my booths, my flea market booth for the last year, and they sell awesome. eBay, I can't sell a hat on eBay. Those same hats I've had for less money, I sell them for more money in my flea market booth. No shipping and no returns, and they go fast. I think a lot of people go into you know, another thing that sells real fast is my DVDs. I put them for $1.95. And they sell so fast because I think people go into the flea market, they got 20, $30 they want to spend. They don't find anything, like, well, buy a few DVDs, I need a new hat. Why not? That's a cool hat. So I love it. And especially some of that big heavy stuff I can put in there and I can get more money than on eBay because people are figuring in the shipping on eBay. So you're getting more money. Some of my big antiques, you know, it would have been so expensive to ship out and been a pain in the ass, worried about returns and breakage. They walk out that door at the antique mall, no returns. See ya. You know, yeah, this fourth quarter is going to be, dude, I don't think people realize what's happening. We're all lucky to be resellers to get in this point. The last time, I mean, 2007, 2008, that's when Gary Vee was born. That's when all that stuff was, the community really kind of started, is because that's the first time the economy went down. People had to kind of think that way. Well, it's, you know, who knows when it's going to get a lot better. It seems like it's not, you know, so people are still going to be thinking this way, especially around Christmas. So I think this year is going to be massive. Facebook Marketplace, I buy on Facebook Marketplace because I can find some pretty good deals because a lot of those people just don't have any idea what they got. But I don't sell on there much because, like I said, I have my stuff in the flea market booth. I'll just put it in the flea market booth. I'll advertise on Marketplace and send them to the booth, which is a huge benefit because I don't have to meet them. I don't have to worry about them ghosting me. I don't worry about them getting there and then going, well, I'd kind of like to pay less. I don't know, you know, and try to change the price. So that it is helpful, and I need to do more. And Tommy made a good point. I need to have a Facebook page, separate, like a business page that's just about that stuff. And that way I can just, because there's some people on Facebook that are my friends, don't want to see that crap. You know, they don't want to see me selling stuff, and they don't want to see it. So try to make it more specialized. Yeah. Well, I gotta go. I gotta get on this day. I can't believe I've been sitting here this long. But thanks for everybody that joins. I appreciate it. I'm maybe putting out I've got this huge video that I just can't get it quite right, but it's my Dale Earnhardt Sr. lot, and it is unbelievable. I can't believe I still, it's one of those you walk away, you're like, did that just happen? Did I just get that? Because I got a Dale Earnhardt Sr. tire off of his NASCAR car, and it's got the certificate of authentication too. And he had his whole collection, and I didn't even ask him, and he goes, $200 for all, and I go, how much I got in my wallet? I don't know. I had $150. I'm like, here's $150. Here's a check. Here's $100 check from my customer. You keep it as collateral until I go get it. And he goes, I trust you. He's an ex-Marine. I came back too, right? And he also refurbishes Jeeps. He refurbished this Jeep, and this guy was buying it at the time when I came back, and he was spending like 8 to 10 grand, right? And this guy was a Marine that all he did was flip cars. And if he would have saw that Earnhardt stuff, I guarantee he would have said, "What about the Earnhardt stuff?" And he would have said, just throw it in there." You know what I mean? So I got that. I guarantee, because I guarantee that guy would have seen that Earnhardt stuff. It was behind the Jeep. And the only reason I saw it was because I was admiring the Jeep, and I looked behind him like, is he selling that stuff? I'm sure I'm glad I asked. And so I was probably minutes away from not getting that. And that was one of the first garage sales of my entire year. And I was actually supposed to be mowing that day. And I'm like, no, because I'm really disciplined about that kind of stuff. I'm a mowing boss. You kind of have to be, or else no money. But that day I was like, I resell for a living. I have to go do garage sales too. I'll just go a little late. And I'm so glad I did. And yeah, so that video is gonna be cool. I've got, I don't know, 50 pieces, not counting that was part of the 200. I was lucky because he was a moving sale, and he was retiring in 18 days, and he was living in a $250,000 brick house. Well, it'd be about a $500,000 probably on the East Coast. No kids, just with his wife, didn't need it. So he was selling that, and they were buying a RV so they could just travel around the nation. And so since he was doing that, he wanted to sell everything, and he was in the mood to sell it all. And just a lucky day. Facebook is a new business card. True that, man. Yeah, let's go. All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all. Grind on, friends.